Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is, whenever you're watching this. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this conversation. Today, I am with my client, Amanda Ocasio. She's your Houston realtor. And I wanted to have this conversation with her because she's a realtor. She's not a coach or a speaker or some type of consultant. And a lot of people always ask me, well, Linda, do you only work with coaches or consultants? And I work with any woman who is a producer. And a producer is any woman who makes her own money, whether you make your own money with commission sales or you make your own money with your brick and mortar. If you are a woman in business and you want more, there are ways of being, and those ways of being are rooted in your ways of thinking. And you would be watching this interview going, why would anybody hire someone? Because they want to be someone else or they want to think differently. But Amanda's about to share with us. Amanda, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
First of all, I actually love this pink, this pink top. This is cute.
Thank you.
This is
I'm
cute.
discovering my colorful clothes makes my soul happy.
See? So let's go right into that because we had to
Okay.
we like I saw what you did. You were like, I just, and then you chose the words carefully. Now, this is me. I don't know what you're going to say because we didn't practice. This is unscripted. Was it because before you were dressing professionally, whatever you thought professional realtors wear?
I would say it's a combination. I've always been into colorful clothes, and I've when I was younger, I used to wear a lot of colorful clothes. But as I've gotten older, I've kind of done the more professional because I used to work in a corporate office, and then I developed a small insecurity that I feel like now I've come out of, and I'm back to see me. Here's my colors.
Oh, snap. Okay, so we'll talk about what that insecurity was and what you think has made you come out of your shell. But before that, I want to say this because what you said prompted this memory. I was 21 years old and I worked at a credit union and I was on the teller line. And I've always been super rebellious. I've always been against the establishment. I've always been like breaking the rules. So I used to get my nails done like not as long as Cardi B, but like long.
Hmm.
And each different nail, kind of like now, had like this one has glitter, but this is more demure. I'm
Yeah.
older. But when I was younger, it was kind of ghetto. I had I had rhinestones over here, zebra over here, like a different design on each nail. And the branch manager used to be like, Linda, that's not professional. And I was like, Sylvia, I'm not taking these nails off. You understand? Like I paid X amount of dollars. I'm not doing that. And she would be like, Linda, the rules are that you need to wear pantyhose. And I would just not wear pantyhose. And I got written up all the time. So, I should have known I was just gonna be
A rebel from day one.
I was going to be leading a revolution of women that don't care. But anyway, so thank you for jogging that memory for me. Tell me about this insecurity, and you don't have to go deep into it, like it's specifically what it was, but how do
Yeah.
you find yourself thinking now that you were able to say, I don't need to own that insecurity anymore?
I think it's been a transformation of just knowing, or not knowing, but valuing who I am in this current moment in time. Because I feel like a lot of women, they strive to be a certain way or do certain things. And I wasn't celebrating the journey to get to that person. I was thinking, oh, I can't do this or be like this until I get to the finish line. So my change in thought process was I am that person now. And the insecurity was not maybe wanting to be seen as much. I've gained a
Mhm,
little weight since having my daughter. So, just not wanting to be seen as much. And
mhm.
now I've embraced where I am at this stage of life that I'm going to wear the bright colors because for me, I feel like it's a reflection of my personality.
Absolutely. And so before we keep going, I just want to tell whoever's watching, if you're viewing this right now, whether whenever you end up watching this video, why I want to have this conversation with Amanda is because people come to me because they want to make more money. And all the time they think is Linda's going to teach me this strategy, this tactic. And we are going to talk about strategies and we are going to talk about tactics, but none of those strategies and tactics you're going to be able to truly deploy and own if you do not work on who you are being. And so, one of the things that I'm really great at is that I see a woman for who she is and all of the potential that she still hasn't like tapped into. I see it. And I respect her for that awesome person that she is, for that awesome professional that she is. I do not see her the way her mom sees her or her dad or her boyfriend or her man. Like, I don't see her as a mom. I see her as another woman who is a badass. And I recognize her as a badass and I treat her as such. One of the things that, Amanda, that um, and I'm not going to go deep. I'm going to allow you to share as deep as you want because this is not a confessional. One of the things that I realized and that I started noticing when we first started working together was that you, in our interactions, and I don't know if it's because I'm your mom's age or close to your mom's age, but you interacted a lot with me like a daughter. So I saw that daughter energy and I was like, wait a minute, Amanda, you are 30 something years old. You own a home with X amount of land on that home. You own a horse. You not only take care of your daughter, you have your mother and another family member living with you. You literally do things that a lot of men aren't doing and are never going to do. You do more than most people who have both the couple, the husband and the wife working in the house. You're doing that at this age. Why are
Mhm.
you conducting yourself like a daughter? Do you have this energy at home with your mom? And you were like, "W- w-
And it's funny that you bring that up because it could be me, but I feel like that's the first time I've heard that from you now. So knowing that that's how you were receiving me is definitely interesting because I didn't realize that I was giving off that vibe.
so then I didn't say those words exactly, but because I
Hmm.
got that vibe, I started to ask you questions about you and your mom.
Yeah.
And I started to go deep into how do you communicate with your mom? Are you like not speaking up? Are you like da 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 da? And you were like, there were these areas of the
Yeah.
relationship with you and your mom that you didn't even see. You were just being a daughter. You were
Yeah.
operating in the mom-daughter dynamic. And it was
Hmm.
actually causing stress because there were parts of it that you didn't like, you were resisting, but you also didn't know how to describe it. And I was like, you are you are that homeowner. Yes, your
Yeah.
mom lives with you. So it's whenever your mom speaks, because I know my mom does the same thing. This is our house. And of course,
Hmm.
it's our house. You live here. But
Yeah.
when I go buying a carpet for the living room, when I go buying living room furniture, when I want to make a decision on expanding a room, I don't have to run that by you.
Hmm. Correct.
Right. And so somebody listening might be like, how does that affect her making money? Because it in the way that you do one thing is how you do everything. And you were
Hmm.
showing up with that daughter energy with like, and still feeling like I have to be accountable, but resisting it because you're a 30 something year old woman who pays a mortgage, pays 2 car notes, has a horse. Like you have life, like real life. You have land. I don't know how much the upkeep of your land is, but like you're living real life,
Yeah.
like with real responsibilities. And I was like, this area of her life where she's showing up small is affecting her money. And you didn't even know that. So we started having these conversations. And then you would reach out to me. And even in conversations that you had with your mom, today, we're almost a little bit, we haven't even been working together a full year. We're almost
Mm-mm.
there. And you're like,
Yeah.
Linda, the way that I can have a conversation with my mom, and number one, not own, like not feel attacked, walk
Mhm.
her through to making her own decision.
Mhm.
Tell us about that, because that how you're able to have that conversation with your mom translates into confidence in having conversations with clients, confidence into guiding other clients. You literally guided a woman into walking away from the negotiation table at the end of the year to close on her dream home.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, so I will say that it it kind of goes back further than that. It just the not speaking up for myself has always been a common thing. It didn't matter what the scenario was. It didn't matter who was involved. I was always known to kind of sit back and just observe, but I didn't really care to fight for the, I call it fight for the spotlight to say something. If I didn't have really strong feelings about something, I wouldn't say anything. But the flip side to that is the only time I would find myself having really strong feelings about something is when I've let something go on for too long and fester. And now my response is on the other side of the spectrum, where it may be too, just too out of the blue. And a lot of people are like, whoa, I didn't know you felt this way. Um, so that started prior to that. But being in the house and being able to have these conversations with my mom about things that have either bothered me or just tough conversations about like checking in um were big deals for me because it gave me a voice, and just having those conversations that seem so simple but were very trivial to me relieved a lot of stress off of my shoulders. I did not feel as heavy, um and getting into that routine, it's translated to where, now if she has a problem, she comes and says, hey, I know you said when there's an issue to speak on it. So I'm going to speak on an issue that I'm having now. And it allows us to have that conversation and get through it and then continue on with the day instead of it being a long, drawn out process, things affecting the atmosphere. And it's been really good.
I love that. And I mean, I know that your mom's Puerto Rican and, I'm Puerto Rican. And a lot of people, if they're not of our culture, they don't understand. Like I grew up here in the United States, but my father used to say, when you come home from school and you close that door, it's Puerto Rico in here. And like it literally was. It literally was. I would say to my dad, like, Dad, that's not the way people think. That's, whenever he would say whatever beliefs. And he would say, you're too Americanized.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, wow. So I always got checked whenever I tell people of my upbringing and, just all of it. People will say, well, Linda, why didn't you leave when you were 18? And I'm like, you don't understand. It was Puerto
Hmm.
Rico in my house. You can't just leave.
Yeah.
Right. But no, you're in the United States, you're an adult. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. You're not an adult.
Yeah.
You,
I will say I will say that for me, that was different. It wasn't as Puerto Rico. And I think it's because both my mom and my dad were born here. So they were the ones that got Americanized. But, like my mom left the house at 17 and I left the house at 17. So I come from a line of independent women who are just kind of go out into the world and ready to live life.
to live life. And
Mhm.
even though your parents were Americanized, your mom was still expecting some behaviors that were expected of her with her mom, like the whole checking in. We live together,
Correct.
check in
Yeah.
with me. I'm grown. Like, we talking about checking in with
Mhm.
you. I love you and I
Yeah.
have a courtesy. I'll let you know, but I
Yeah.
check in. So that's what
And
I'm talking.
that was something that I created at the beginning because, you know, she was here. She was the person I called all the
Next
time. So
month.
without even realizing, yeah,
Exactly.
I was creating that. Um, so over the past 6 months, I've backed off. I started like backing off, and now it's completely.
Yeah. And so again, somebody might be watching this and going, what in the world Somebody that's grown literally had to do this? Yes. And so we don't look, what's the new phrase that's going around the internet? We don't judge. This is why my clients come to me, because where else can they feel safe to actually say this? And I can see how that thing is affecting your money, because
Yeah.
Amanda, this is your first full year as a full-time realtor. I admire that you had a full-time job and you got your
Hmm.
real estate license and you did your business part-time on the weekends, and then when the year started you were like, I'm going full in on me. That is amazing. I just want to tell you this. I'm not blowing smoke in your face. Like, for you to be your age and for you to believe in yourself that much and take the calculated risk, to someone else it looks like that's too risky. You left your job, but you knew it was calculated. You had X amount of money in the bank. You had your mortgage paid up a few months. You had, like, you planned, right? And
Hmm.
so being
Hmm.
intentional about what we want to create, you already had that when we met. That's why I knew you were just gonna take off. So it was for the people that haven't watched the other interview, like, you and I started working together, and within that same week we had a
Hmm.
conversation. Like, the night that you hired me, we went out to dinner, and that week you were like, boom, you guys signed a contract for your first 700 and something thousand-dollar deal. Then when
Hmm.
you told me, Linda, the commission that I got for that deal was equivalent to all the money that I had made for the year thus far.
Yeah.
So that ability to compress time, like, did you even know that phrase before? Like, compress time?
No, I didn't know. I mean, of course, you probably hear it places, but never really truly understanding the concept and the context of how it's being used. But now I have an understanding of what it means. And, it's a funny thing sometimes, nowadays people say when something happens, they're like, oh, nobody has time for that. Like, it is legitimate. Nobody has time to do A, B, and C. Like, let's compress. Um, and it's been amazing. I'm a person that likes results quick, and that's just how I operate. I'm very like quick. So if something is drawn out and I don't see results, something I'm working on. But being able to compress time has has checked that box off for me, where I'm like, okay, I can compress my time and accomplish a lot of things in a short amount of time. That just naturally creates even more, um, I would say, the confidence in what you're doing, because you're able to do it in half the time as somebody else.
How do you feel now? Here we are having this conversation looking back, because you said something super important, and it's not just unique to you, but I'm talking to you right now, so it's unique to
Hmm.
you. But really, we all experience this. The whole, if I don't see that it's working, I quit, which is the reason why people quit the gym, which is the reason why people quit diets, because, like, this needs to be happening fast, and we don't often see. Like, for me, for example, when I started to take care of my health this year, I went to the doctor and I was like, I feel like giving up. And she's like, wait a minute, don't. Let me show you your blood work. Let me show you how different 90 days ago the inflammation in your body was. But we don't see that. So because we don't
Hmm.
see that, we're like, it's not working. I can't see my A1C until I have blood work. I can't see that. Right. So the
Yeah.
same thing happened in your business when, like a month or two ago, you called me and you were like, I really need to have more closings on the table. Like, I want to make more money this year. And as we started talking, we discovered that you had at least 4 closings for the new year on new builds already in the books. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So, it's a new place to be in, but I think it was, I want to say November, maybe, is when we spoke. And since we're doing this interview, being transparent, realtor life, the last time I received a commission check was September. So of course, in my mind, I'm like, I need more closings. I need to do this, need to do that. Of course, me being a prepared person, mortgage was fine, big bills were fine, wasn't a concern. Everything was set for the rest of the year. But I was thinking I need these closings. And after you and I talked, we realized that it's actually 5 builds that are scheduled to close. And I have one every month until June. And the total of those closings is equivalent to the whole entire year of 2024. And 2025 hasn't even hit.
Full amount, like 2 million or whatever.
Yeah, it was like 2.1 million, I think, for 2024. And
Okay.
then when you and I spoke, everything that was closing was 2 million.
And you didn't see that.
No.
I'm like, you literally already have what took you the whole year to do. You've already created it for the new year, and the new year hasn't started. So we can't set the goal for 5 million, Amanda. We have to set it for like 10 million.
No.
Because you already have 2 million in the bag. And when we're talking about, right, the big
Yeah,
full deal,
overall.
if you're a
Mm-hmm.
realtor, you know what we're talking about,
Yeah.
right? And so this would be her second year as a full-time realtor. And I was
Correct.
like, what? When we did the numbers on the commissions on that, then you were like, Linda, I am doing some deals that I split because the leads were given to me by my brokerage, which also you left the tiny little beady brokerage that you started with, that I imagined that you would feel like a sense of loyalty. I was like, girl, you need to jump ship. You need to go to somewhere big. And then all of a sudden, hey, Linda, I just signed with EXP. What?
I jumped
I
ship. Yeah.
love it. You take action.
Yeah. And
You
it was
take
needed. I mean, there, like you said, the loyalty, there was a little part that was kind of battling, but it wasn't necessarily loyalty. Um, it's more of a character thing that I was dealing with where I don't like confrontation. So that was part, and that was a while ago. So now I'm speaking up. It's different now, but that was really the issue, was the confrontation. I felt like it was going to be confrontation, even though it wasn't. It's just that's how my brain was translating it. So that's why it took me about 2 weeks to actually jump ship. But yeah, I knew it had to be done. And where I wasn't serving me. I knew what kind of clientele that I wanted to deal with. I knew what kind of size deals I wanted to be involved with. And unfortunately, the group that I was with, that's not their specialty. They could not help me in that department. I was always showing up dressed, makeup, hair. When I meet clients, professional, and no shade to them. It's just their group was more like, hey, here's the jeans and the boots and the more chillax style.
You had
And
a
that's,
standard.
yeah, and I had a certain group of folks that I wanted to deal with. So now I deal with six-figure earners.
And luxury deals, $1 million deals, $800,000 deals. Do
Yes.
you know, and I always tell you this, do you know how many realtors I have worked with who have been in real estate 15 years, 20 years, and closed their first $1 million deal working with me? And here you are like, this is normal.
Yeah. And it's interesting because there's something that I've learned along the way, and I've narrowed down even more the type of people that I want to work with. And I like to work with the CEOs and the VPs that have normal everyday lives, very chill, but like nice things, because I feel like we connect more, and it just feels right. And so lately, those are the folks that I've been really connecting with, just by default. And these are the millionaires. These are the people buying $600,000 houses. And we connect so much that they joke, but they say, hey, when the house is being built and when it's finished, we're going to have a sign on the door that says Amanda's room. So, it's just like that down to earth and connection that I end up having with my folks.
Yeah. And you know what? Those type of people that have those type of titles in their everyday life, that make that kind of money, those people, they know how to make decisions.
Hmm.
They don't make fear-based decisions. They're not super needy. They're not blowing up your phone at 10:30 at night. They're not saying, this other lady over here is giving me 0.5% less. They don't do that.
Correct.
They're amazing to work with, right?
Yes.
So one thing that's going to lead me into the conversation about your client that just closed, that just made this offer on the very last day of the year at the very last
Yes.
minute of the last hour.
Yes.
You mentioned confrontation, and
Hmm.
I wanted to ask you, because as women, it doesn't have to be that we're Hispanic, just as women, we're taught that, hey, don't be confrontational, because confrontational means that you're starting a problem.
Yes.
Confrontation means we're going to have an argument. Confrontation means you starting some shit,
Yeah.
right? So, but this is how I see it, and I want to ask you your take on it, right? We have to be confronting to certain things,
Hmm.
and con- confronting something doesn't mean that we're going to argue, because I have a lot of emotional intelligence, but we're not going to skate around this. I want to have an intelligent, informed conversation where we don't have to argue, because I'm
Hmm.
the one that's holding I'm holding the energy for this conversation. I did not confront you because I want to argue and disrespect you and fight. I confronted you because we have to address this. And it is
Yeah.
confronting and it is uncomfortable, but we're going to have this conversation and we're going to do conflict resolution.
Yeah.
So confronting, like, it's not like, hey, let me tell you something. I know you didn't, I mean, that could be a
Yeah.
form of confrontation. But
Hmm.
how do you feel about having uncomfortable conversations now that are confronting, because they are?
So I think for me, what's changed is my perspective. So when I'm having these confronting conversations, I start to think of it more as shining light on a problem to benefit my client. And it's it's completely changed the way I think about it, because now I feel like, no, we need to talk about this, because I enjoy serving my clients, and I like my their best interest is at heart for me. And that is part of it, is saying, hey, I know you love this house. I know this, I know that, but I have to ask A, B, and C. And I had another conversation with another client. I think it was just Sunday or something like that, where she's looking to be closer to her sister. And this would have been another confronting thing. And I said, hey, I know you want to be closer to your sister, but at the end of the day, if your sister moves, what happens to you guys? And she kind of looked at me and was like, yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. Because, it's your sister's been here. She's been living in Houston for X amount of years. You're just coming. So she may move around and she may feel entitled to move around because this is her home and she's just, Houston's Houston. She's going to move. But really think on if you want to make a decision based off of her location versus what you truly want. Um, so I look at it as shining light on problems that they don't realize could be problems, because I'm actually listening to what it is that they desire in their home, the lifestyle that they want, and tapping into that.
I love that, because as a coach, right, it's not that I want to argue with my clients, because that's not what I do. But as a coach, I want you to win and get the success that you want and all of the things that you're going for. I want that more for you than I want you to be my friend. So I'm going to, at times, pivot you, cut you off, like just pattern interrupting wherever you are, pull you out of that, tell you uncomfortable things. I'm going to be confronting, right? There might be tears, there might be anger. And because I want your results more than I want you to like me. And I
Hmm.
see how you're doing that as well, because a lot of people are like, well, you're my realtor. You're supposed to do what I want. No, I'm supposed to keep your vision in mind and
Correct.
pivot you out of a hole that you might be stuck in spinning your wheels. That's not going to get us the result that we want. So it's not
Yeah.
like I'm your realtor. You signed this contract. I work for you in that way. No,
Yeah.
so you're not scared to tell your client, listen, I have the vision for you. I have the goal. It is not living by next to your sister. I know you love her.
Yeah.
It is this. So let's talk about this woman at the very
Hmm.
end of the year, on the last day
Yes.
of the year. Um, how you were able to have this conversation with her, because you literally, what I love about my clients is that they grab all these skill sets from their coach, and they coach in their own businesses. So how did you coach
Hmm.
this client on the last day of
So,
the year?
um, so quick backstory, she was a team lead, met her through the team. Um, and one skill set that I know that I have is I'm able to build rapport quicker than others. So I can meet one person one time, have a Zoom one time, and we have such in-depth conversation that it cultivates a really great relationship. So with her, the house that she found that was her decision home, her dream home, was on the second visit that we've ever had. So it was the
Mm.
second time I've ever seen her in person, and we were going back and forth as far as negotiating with the seller, and I ran the numbers and I'm like, it's actually worth 400,000, not 410. And I looked at appliances and I'm like, they're charging X amount, for appliances, this and that. And so I went the extra mile and I looked and said, hey, depending on what kind of appliances you have, you can get it for like 4,500. So the question is, do you want to buy your own appliances or do you want to try to put that part of the deal? Um, so we talked and she came to terms with she doesn't care about appliances. She just wants the custom blinds because of the sizing of the windows. And they weren't budging. And I reached out to her and said, hey, they're not budging on price. Um, are you okay with losing this home? Because I think our last strategy that we could use is to just walk away because it's the end of the year. I know they're trying to get rid of it. Um, if you're okay with taking that risk, that's what I would advise is us walking away. And I said, if it's not meant to be, a lot of my clients are faith based. It just kind of happens that way. So I told them, I told her, I said, if it's meant to be, it's going to be. What's for you is going to be for you. So if it's not this house, there's always homes that are popping up.
Mhm.
And she said, agreed. She's like, let's do it. Let's walk away. I said, okay. And I think it was about 7:30. I sent the email to the agent, and I said, "Hey, thank you so much. Happy New Year." Blah blah. Walked away. I think it was like 8:12. The agent was calling me, and I didn't pick up because I didn't realize she called. So I think it just added to the walking away. And they ended up meeting us where we wanted them to meet us, and we had a contract signed that night. So it was just me talking to her, matter of fact, laying it out there, laying the risk out there, and what our possible options were, and just allowing her to make that decision and talking her through the process. And that's how we got to get the home. And now she closes at the end of this month.
So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Second of all, I'm gonna coach you right here on this call. That was amazing. When you first met me and you came to the 5-day challenge, I said clients buy certainty,
Hmm.
and the certainty in your voice. You weren't just like telling her something because you were scared. You were like, let's walk away from this. Here's why.
Yeah,
And you didn't say, do you trust me? But that was inferred
correct.
because the certainty in the way that you spoke, she was like, let's walk away.
Hmm.
She trusted you because of your
Yeah.
certainty. And it could have been that that deal would didn't fall through, but because of your certainty, she's following you to the next deal.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I hired her for a reason. Like I trust her. So that
Hmm.
was amazing.
Yeah. And
Congrats.
it's been amazing. And that's the same story every client. Like the same client with a sister that, wants to move close.
Hmm.
At the end of our 2 days together, um, the husband came to me and, we were all together and he was like, we want to thank you so much. Just in case we don't tell you that you've made this process so organized, so effortless, this and that. And, we can't praise you enough. And then they asked me why my contract with them ended in February and why it wasn't longer.
Aw.
And I was like, I usually do a couple months for people I've never met, just to, because people feel uneasy. I said, but I'll send you an updated one to extend it. So they were wondering, how can we extend this with you? So yeah, I experience that a lot with clients, which is amazing.
It is amazing because even though I'm not a realtor and I don't sell cars or whatever, like I hear the same phrases that you hear in your business when people are like, I'm never doing business with anybody else. Like I'm not leaving you.
Yeah,
And that, that's great because high-end sales are relationship driven. You literally, these people tell you all their life story. Like these people are
yeah,
most of your clients this year have been people that relocated because, right? This is
yeah,
like your firm, your brokerage specializes in that. And then, literally, right before the year ended, I said to you, stop playing, open up a YouTube channel. And what
yeah.
happened? I loved
Well,
your
I
how you
opened up a
named
YouTube
it.
channel.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
thank
did, like
you.
that same day. And what did you call it?
I called it Moving to Houston with Amanda.
It's just so great. And then what
Because
happened? Tell me.
because my goal is not my goal. What I'm doing, see, reframing in the moment,
Oh,
is branding myself. So that's why I named it Moving to Houston with Amanda, because the experience is with me. And it doesn't matter what brokerage I go to, it's me.
that's right.
Um, yes, I opened the YouTube channel. I added some shorts, like you said. I think as of right now, I have 12 subscribers. And I think that was like a week and a half ago or something. I think I have almost 800 views on my combined little shorts. And then this month I'm going to start my actual touring videos of communities in Houston. And one of them is going to be one that my own team hasn't featured yet because it's not ready.
And I'm just going to say this here. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to say it. It's a bonus for anybody who's watching. So you might be like 800 views. I dare you to create 8 reels and put them on Facebook or Instagram and see if you're going to get 800 views in the first 3 days combined.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're
I have
not.
one video that alone got 500 views just
Immediately.
within
It was crazy.
36 hours. Hmm.
Yeah. So what would you say? Obviously, the money is great. The mindset, like even your romantic relationship, we're not even going to talk about that, but it's just like I've seen you evolve. I'm like, oh my God, it's like a flower. What would you
Yeah.
say, right? Let's say you're out to dinner, you're somewhere, and you're like talking to someone about what you've experienced this year. What would you say is the biggest thing? What would you say it's like, without this is the thing that I love the most about who I'm becoming or how I think or whatever.
I think the thing that I love the most that's starting to come out is the more feminine energy. Um, and the more magnetic energy that I have. And I can tell when I talk to people. And that's one thing that I love is because part of what I want and what I'm doing is to make memorable experiences. And just because of the energy that I'm bringing, it's it's making its own stamp. Like people are looking at me and waiting for my next word because of the expertise that I'm bringing, and then just the focus that I have in the conversation, just looking at them and really finding out things, and I'm just loving that people are looking to me for guidance, or looking to me for my expertise, and just casual conversation. Even after these deals are done, I still keep relationships with my people, which is really nice. So I would say after everything so far, it's the energy that I'm beginning to harness, and creating more of an engaging, like magnetic feel, I guess, is what I would say.
Mhm. So here's what I'm going to say. Um, and you smell like money. I'm just saying.
Just
Because, perfume is everything. Like
yes, I
exquisite
have so
scents.
many now.
I know.
So
So I'm
excited.
so proud of you. And
Thank
so
you.
for everyone watching, right? We think that, and by the way, none of your pictures are inappropriate. None of your branding pictures. Yet we had a conversation where I was like, use this picture. And you were like, I just don't want to give this sexy. I don't want to give this, sensual. I'm like, give sensual. because it's not sexual. It's not
Yeah.
sexual. It's alluring. It's magnetic
Mhm.
because we are women.
Yeah.
So why not just lean all the way back? What that woman did the last day of the year when you were like, let's walk away from this, she leaned back. That's what women
Mhm.
do. When we push and we pursue, that's very masculine. Hey, you know what? Let's take our foot off the gas. Let's lean back. And
Yeah.
then when we lean back, we receive. She received the house that she wanted at the price point that she wanted because she stopped pursuing. She leaned back.
Yeah.
So I love being a woman, working with women, because it's not about being coquette and flirtatious, even though that's just me, honey. I flirt with everybody. I flirt with the guy at Starbucks. Okay. I call
Like,
everybody
oops.
baby, like darling. I call everybody baby. And so, but it's that playfulness that you are a woman until the day you die. So
Mhm.
why are we trying to do business like a man? I'm not a man, boo. You came here for all the reasons. You came here for these peaks on my blouse. You came here for this red lipstick, honey. You came here because every time I speak, you're hanging on to my every word because you like what I'm saying, and you're like, damn, that red lipstick is mesmerizing. You came here
Yep.
because I smell good.
Yeah.
And you know, whatever you think after you're gone, you walk away from me. I can't control your thoughts. But I know that I am memorable. And
Yes.
those ways of being, like just stepping into our feminine power, right? And not being scared of it. I love that for you,
Mhm.
Amanda. I love watching you
Yeah.
grow. Is there anything else you want to share that we didn't talk about? No.
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
And so lately I've been doing these interviews with my clients where we're not focusing on the money. I don't want
Mhm.
to talk about, oh, her $14,000 check, her 21,000. I don't want to talk about that. I
Yeah.
want to talk about her ways of being, how her mindset has shifted, how she's stepping into her power. She's a woman of power now because she was always confident, but she wasn't bold.
Yeah.
And so, such a big difference. We think that because we're confident, we're bold. We're not. And we think because we're strong that we're powerful. No, we're strong. And strong women are always doing because they got to. If they don't, nobody else will. And I'm running this and
Mhm.
I got to do this because that I'm strong woman, it's a surviving energy. That's not really
Yep.
a powerful woman. A woman in her power is what you described. Smells great, is magnetic, is alluring, doesn't have to say a word to attract and command the attention, and people are hanging to your every word. Like, what is she going to say? She's not the youngest, or even the prettiest, or the skinniest, or the anythingest, but she's the baddest. Without having to say a word, she's the baddest. And so, you know what? Let me ask you this.
Mm.
I was going to end, but I'm going to ask you this because I'm going to start talking about the power table. And I was like, well, let me ask her because you were already my client. You were like, I'm already here. I already signed an agreement with you, Linda. I'm working with you. But what about the power table? I was like, look, you're going to get a new agreement. We're going to like, this is called the power table. This is what we're doing. What about that name made you get excited? Because everyone is literally excited about the power table.
So for me, it just reminds me of like the round table, like with Arthur, the King Arthur, and and that signifies like powerful people coming together and being in control together and masterminding together. So that's why I got excited because it just paints imagery really. And I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that's why for me, whenever you said the power table, that's what popped in my mind was just like a bunch of powerful women around this table sharing ideas, and just being there together.
I'm going. First of all, thank you for sharing that because you didn't even know I was going to ask. Right, none of this conversation was planned.
No.
Also, I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to forgive you right now for saying I don't know if that was intentional. Everything I do is intentional. Okay, what's wrong
In
with
that
you?
case, it worked.
And the imagery that I wanted was just that to invoke this feeling of women are always, specifically with bro podcasts, that are like, what does a woman bring to the table? Not a damn thing. I am the table. Right. And so women are always being made to believe that they got to bring something to the table. I have created a table and I invite you to it because you belong here. Pull up a seat.
Mm-hmm.
You don't got nobody ever got to tell you about what you bring to the table, man. Shut up.
What do you mean? I elevate everything. What do you mean?
I'm disgusted. I don't even want. Why are you in my space?
Everything I touch turns to gold. What do you mean?
Thank you. What I bring to the table, I have a table, and just by you saying that, you're not invited to it. Bye. That's I want that whole empowerment for us. Like, have a seat. I have created a table for women of power. Come to it.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone here has a crown. That everyone's seat is a throne. It's not just the head of the table over there. Every woman around this table belongs here. And I see you as my equal. I'm not like, put me on a pedestal and, oh, no. Everyone here is like a powerful woman. I love it. Mm-hmm. So thank you for sharing. I literally caught you off guard with that. I'm like, what do you think about the power table? So
good thing I had some thoughts. I love it.
The power table, though, for you that are watching, the power table is a brand new program that I launched this year. And it has 3 different tiers so that regardless of your income level and what you have achieved, there's a place for you to come in at that level. Because, there were a lot of people that were telling me, Linda, it's this other price is very expensive and I'm dying to work with you. I want to work with you. So I created different tiers so that no queen is left outside because of her income level. Every queen gets to sit at the table. And just like unleash more of her power and unleash all the success that is yours this year and forever. So if you're interested, make sure you send me a DM. If you're watching this on YouTube, message me here in the comments, or if you're watching it on Facebook, then leave me a comment, underneath, but message me. And Amanda, whether anybody is moving to Houston, relocating, or they're already here, or someone is watching and they're not living here, but they have a referral for you, how can they get in contact with you?
Good thing I'm ready for that. So if you are in Houston or looking to move to Houston, as well as even if you're not in Houston and you just want to be connected with me, I can also find and vet a realtor in your state and refer you out to them and then kind of be with you through that process. You can reach me at 713-505-5195. Or you can send me an email at Texas Homes by Amanda, and that's TX Homes with an S by Amanda at gmail.com.
I love it. Or your social media.
Yep. And it's just my name, Amanda Ocasio.
It's just my name. And go to YouTube and be like, move to Houston. What is it?
Moving to Houston with Amanda is on the YouTube.
I love it. So yeah, if you're going to rock in the power table, you're going to build your YouTube channel this year. You're going to write your book this year. You're going to become the influencer and the thought leader that you need to be in your brand, all the things. That's why you need to be at the power table, baby. So Thank you so much, Amanda, for your time today. I appreciate you so much. I love you so much. And see you guys later. Bye-bye.